You're listening to Mad Men Sports, a Buffalo Bills podcast sponsored by Black Button Distilling and Prima Pasta Pizza. To my left, we have Diamond Dave. Dave, buddy, how are you today, buddy?
Jake, I'm always good, man. How are you?
Big
Good.
Diamond Dave.
You got a little trip planned, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to sneak in the Patriots practice.
Oh, you should record it and send it to us so we can
And
post
Brady
it.
was going to make a big mistake signing the contract today.
Oh, all right. Zach, how are you, man?
Not too bad. Tough weekend for the Red Sox, but whatever. Their season's done. I'm ready for football season. Last year, their season carried into deep to football season for a nice World Series ring. So they're going to let me engulf myself in the Bills season this year, so I'm all for it.
Good, yeah. And Bills news we do have. They returned to Orchard Park for their red versus blue practice. I mean, you got to be kind of worried. The offensive line, as of now, is riddled with injuries. Now we have Morris out with a concussion, Quentin Spain, John Feliciano. Am I missing any?
No, honestly, I'm not worried at all about the injuries. I know.
Waddle got carted off today at practice.
Yeah, I'm not really one to be worried about injuries right now. I know it's only week 2 of training camp. It's kind of the time where little nicks and things like that happen. You're going to get sprained ankles because you haven't been working on these ankles the way it has been. I'd say this.
You were willing to put Brown in the Pro Bowl last week from his practice performance.
Yeah, and I'd like to hope that he still is a Pro Bowl eligible by the time season's over. Nothing wrong with being excited. That's why we're here, guys, to get fans excited about the season. That's why we podcast every Sunday night. The offensive line that they rolled out today for practice was exciting, if you ask me. We finally got to see Cody Ford at the right guard position. That was pretty awesome, not going to lie, Jacob. Ty Nsekhe was at the right tackle position, kind of the position where the Bills kind of want him to be. If you saw our interview this week with Matt Perino, he mentioned that Ty Nsekhe might be the candidate for a right tackle and kind of right where the Bills want him to be, and you can kind of move forward inside for the short-term future. So that's kind of what fans have been looking for. Big injury, like you mentioned, Mitch Morse on the center position. Not the best injury of him. It's his 4th concussion. Everyone's kind of questionable, like what happened to him this week. But it's his 4th concussion. Jake, does that worry you a little bit?
I mean, with the league kind of making turns to make sure that CTE isn't as in the news as much, yeah, it kind of raises some concerns. I know the Bills are going to be kind of cautious with him because, I mean, he is the highest paid center in the league, so you want to protect your assets there. I mean, last year, Russell Bodine really didn't kind of hold down that spot after losing Eric Wood. So,
Terrible.
Am I worried a little bit if he's back by week 1? Certainly not.
I'm concerned. Normally, the Bills don't even comment on this. The other day, McDermott commented on his press conference saying they were concerned before they signed him about concussion issues. I think this might be a bad news thing, but we'll see. Hopefully, he comes this week and surprises us and practices.
Yeah, and it really happened at the beginning of, full contact. They threw the pads on, allowed some thud this past weekend. The first weekend of camp, that is. And then finally Monday it kind of came out that he had a concussion. It was tough sell, I'm not going to lie. So hopefully they can kind of right the ship, give him some space. Hopefully it's a freak accident. Hopefully his head's fine. It's just kind of breaking the egg. I mean, there's really nothing great to say about a concussion other than we hope he's fine. We hope it's nothing too damaging long term and hope to see him back out on the field soon.
So, Dave, in our group chat, you seemed pretty angry earlier. You want to talk about that here?
Yeah, what I'm angry about today is I was catching up on the top NFL 100 players around the league, and the Bills were not in it at all. The Dolphins had 1. The Jets had 2. Bills had 0. You're telling me Trey White doesn't belong in the top 50? Lorenzo Alexander doesn't belong in the top 100?
Certainly. I do believe that they should, but, I mean, as record shows, Trey White is the least recognized player in the NFL. In my opinion, he's so underrated.
I think that's hogwash. He deserves to be in.
No, trust me.
The Bills deserved at least 1 player.
I think they have a discussion, an argument to have more than 1 player. I mean, I just think that, this is biased by me, but national media is never jumping on the Bills train since Chris Berman.
Time out. This isn't a national media poll, guys. These are players. This is a player poll made by the players for the players. It's very simple. Yes, I do believe that the Bills have top 100 worthy players on, but,
player.
They have to be stout against the team players they play against, and they can't be a doormat for the first 10 weeks of the season. Obviously next year you'd like to hope that that Josh Allen's on the list. Maybe Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, Trey White. You want these guys to be on the list eventually. Just prove it this year. You know what I'm saying? Is it like? But here we are. We're talking about a mild award. These guys don't care, but they might want to prove it. That might be fuel to the fire. What do you think, Jake? Is this fuel to the fire to really spark it into next year to try to get in the list?
I definitely think it is. I mean, I wouldn't say it as much as a missed Pro Bowl, but I mean, whatever lights a fire under any of the players' asses is, hey, I'm here for. But I do want to say, is that a new segment? Things Diamond Dave is pissed about? Zach, what do you think about that? You alright with it?
Diamond Dave's gripes. I love it. I love it a lot.
That could last for a half hour. I don't know if
Listen.
fans have that kind of time.
We just give him a whole Festivus segment where he airs his grievances.
It's not even sports related. He's just angry at traffic.
Things that grind my gears.
You want to know what grinds my gears?
Well, let's kind of swing this into Mad Men by the Numbers. It's our third week. It is sponsored by Prima Pasta Pizza. It's on the corner of West Chippewa Street. Make sure to check their lunch specials. They are open every day besides Sunday, of course. Everybody needs their family day. Please check them out. I'm a big fan of their white pizza. I know Dave is as well.
All right, we're going down there this week. We got to get to something different than white pizza. I'm tired of talking with the listeners about the white pizza. They have great calzones. That's something you guys. I'm going to take you there for calzones this week.
Listen, let me just eat my white pizza, man.
No.
All right, first question for you guys. We talked about it. Mitch Morris. I know Zach is not too worried about it, but percentage-wise, will he be ready week 1? David?
50%.
50%? So you're not too sure. Give me
Concussions, you just never know. Derek Anderson's still in concussion protocol, and he's retired.
I think he's not with us anymore. But, all right, let me ask you this. Are you worried about the state of the Bills' offensive line if he's not in there?
That's a good question, Jake. I think the problem with the offensive line is you need consistency. I think that's what the Bills didn't have last year. I think the Bills will get consistency, but I don't know who the five players will be. We know Dawkins, we know Ford, Nasecki, probably
Quentin Spain too, right?
Spain if he's healthy.
He's locked down the left guard spots thus far.
We just need consistency. I mean, no one's going to argue that we have talent. We went out and got talent this offseason. We probably had talent last year. But there's just no consistency there. We need to open up the run game. And that's why Mitch Morris was here. He was a veteran guy getting highest paid money in the league for a center. And there's concussions happen. It's not his first one. And it's very tight-lipped right now, too. Nobody knows when he's coming back. I would imagine he's out the whole preseason, regardless. But I don't know. He needs those reps with Josh Allen. So I'm kind of 50-50 on it. Concussions are just up. You never know. So
Yeah, they're kind of definitely a difficult thing to wrap your head around. But Zach, what do you think?
Now, while concussions are nothing to joke about, nothing to take lightly, I think he'll be ready 100%. They have the highest paid center in the league. They took immediate action once they found out it was a concussion. Concussion. By midweek when we were at camp, he was already out there taking snaps. He was stretching by Tuesday. Wednesday, excuse me. He was out there. He was, maybe in phase 2 or 3 of the concussion protocol. I think he's a little bit more ready than you might think he would be at this point. But like Dave said, I'm hard-pressed to say whether he'll get much, if any, preseason action. And just because, why risk it?
And that's fine.
Yeah, and why risk it? But if you were to see it, it would be because of what Dave also said. I'm kind of piggybacking off of Dave here. His reps with Josh Allen in the preseason are immediately of value. But also, if you're worried about maybe it being a lingering injury this season, you obviously don't rush back concussions. Maybe you want to get Spencer Long in there for the preseason games just so he can kind of build some chemistry that maybe he didn't have during mini camps and OTAs. So maybe you kind of run it both ways. You kind of have a backup plan B during the preseason games, plan A during practice. Let's, maybe give Mitch Morris a red shirt for the rest of training camp. That's all. Kind of wrap him in bubble wrap.
Plan C, you get Eric Wood out of that booth with John Murphy.
He's like 150 pounds. That's not happening.
Yeah.
So, Jake, I'm going to give you my whole 100% that he's ready by week 1.
Perfect. And I appreciate that, Zach. We're not really good at playing by the rules here.
We're working on it.
But, all right, kind of sticking with the injury train here. I mean, I wouldn't call this a big free agent acquisition by any stretch of the means, but Tyler Kroft, have not seen anything with him. He was hurt in the spring, kind of coming back from last year's injury. I'm not going to give him the timetable of week 1. I know he is out of that walking boot, excuse me. Let's say week 3. What is the percentage that he'll be back by week 3? And if he is, what role will he play in this offense?
Against his old team, the Bengals.
Exactly. A good homecoming for him.
Who's first?
Dave. We'll start with Dave.
Buddy.
The percentage that Tyler Kroft plays by week 3?
Correct. And, of course, to piggyback, what will his role be in the offense?
I would say probably 80% chance he plays because the team's already said hopefully week 1 he's back or miss week 1, one or the other. I would say 80% chance. His role, that's tough. I don't know. I have no idea what to expect out of him. We need a tight end. I don't think he was the right one to go out there and get, but he was good in the red zone. He gets touchdowns. He's a good blocker too. So I'm not sure how to. I'm gonna say 80% chance that he plays by week 3. I don't know. I would hope that Dawson Knox or Kroom step up and take the leadership role and just take the number 1 spot. But it's not a bad problem to have having 3 tight ends. So we'll see.
It certainly is not a bad thing to have questions on your touted number 1 tight end on what his role will be. I think it's really important that Dawson Knox has shown promise in the preseason. Jason Kroom, of course, you know what you're getting, doesn't really excel at anything, kind of the master of none in that group. So ideally, you'd want Dawson Knox to kind of shine as a rookie. Zach, I'll pose the same question to you, of course. What do you think?
I'd say 96% chance he plays week 3. I think the only 4% would come from maybe he gets hurt in week 1 or 2. I think he'll be ready by the start of the week. But his role, I mean, they paid him starter money. He's like in the top 22 of the league at tight end. He got good money to play tight end. So they're going to try to get him in. Whether or not he's ready to fit in the offense right away might be a question mark. So, I mean, everyone knows Dawson Knox has really stepped up, and Sweeney has really kind of shown.
Sweeney is shining in practice.
While Kroom and Knox have been out as well as Kroft, Sweeney has been able to take his licks at tight end, and he's kind of made the most of his opportunity. So they're a little deep right now. I imagine as we get closer to cut days, we'll get kind of more of a feel of what's going on with the tight end position. I doubt they'll cut anyone of importance at the tight end position. Maybe Kroom. Dave and I put out our pre-training camp 53, and honestly, we're very happy with how it turned out because after 2 weeks of camp now, I think we made some right decisions, especially a wide receiver and such. So I really think Kroom might be in danger. As far as needing Kroft and Knox and Sweeney, I think that might be how it shakes out with Lee Smith being more your blocking tight end position. So I'm going to go with, what was it, 95, 96%?
You had 96 with a 4% chance of injury.
Yeah, so we'll have to see how that goes. I'm not against it. I'm looking forward to seeing what Tyler Kroft can bring to the Buffalo Bills.
We did have Kroom not making the team. We also have McLeod making the team. That's crazy.
Yeah, because we did a
We're
damn good job.
We're like crystal balls.
Listen, and
I have crystal balls.
I'm happy that players that we weren't too sure that are surprises when we looked at the draft time, that they're making this team. So whoever wins this football games, man. I have one more. This one kind of came to me. A third one. This one kind of came to me as you were kind of complaining about not having someone in the top 100. So this one's specifically for you, David. Zach, if you have anything to weigh on, please feel right ahead. What is the percentage chance that we have a player in the Pro Bowl at the end of the year?
100.
You think so?
Yes.
And
I'll tell you what. We're all agreeing our defense is going to be stout, maybe top 5, just like last year.
mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Tremaine Edmonds is only going to get better. He was 19 last year. Matt Milano, my boy, is looking for a contract. Big fan of Matt Milano. Very positive of Matt Milano. Our defensive backfield, we have 3 players that can all make Pro Bowls.
Right. So let me ask you this, though. You believe we got snubbed from the top 100. What makes you think that this will be different come time from the Pro Bowl?
Performance.
Performance?
Everyone's in a second year of Leslie Frazier's defense.
Third
year, sorry, Zach. And it's only going to get better. I mean, we have a young team. I know that we're going to have to start talking contract to some players, but we have a very young team. White's out there looking for more money. Milano's out there looking for more money. Poyer and Hyde, I'm sure, would love more money. And right now, they all deserve it.
Oh, in case you're wondering, I got something to say about this, by the way.
Oh, and I'm excited.
Our defensive line is probably the weak point, but still very strong. Starla Tule, I'm not sure what he does, but he gets a tackle this season. That's what he averages, right?
No.
But he opens up holes. I think our defense will probably have 3 to 4 players at the end of the season in the Pro Bowl. The offense, not sure, but
3 to 4.
defense 3 to 4.
All right,
You
give
heard
me
it here,
That's
folks.
a positive take from Dave.
All right, give me it.
All right, Zach, what do you got, buddy?
So yeah, I'm gonna go with 0% chance that we have a player in the Pro Bowl, and that's a positive. Guess
Argument coming.
Oh, why?
Because the Bills are going to the Super Bowl, baby. 0.
Argument ended.
What?
Listen, they have a top 2 defense, right?
Matt Perino, grab your mans.
They have a top 2 defense. They're ready for action. The offense only getting better. They have John Brown, Cole Beasley, Frank frickin' Gore, a brand new offensive line,
Should be in his jersey.
a quarterback in his second year. Let's get some action. Let's see Sean McDermott clap ourselves all the way into February. Let's go to the Super Bowl. 0 players in the Pro Bowl. Give me none of that garbage.
Is that penciled in for the process right now?
Oh, I'm ready. This is year 4. This is year 3 of the process. I'm ready for it. Give me it.
Could you imagine O.J. Simpson on Twitter if the Bills are in the Super Bowl?
Imagine me on Twitter.
Hey, Twitter
O.J.
world.
Simpson will be in the Super Bowl hype commercial on CBS right before the game, hyping the Bills up.
I hope
And
so.
it'll break the internet. And we're okay with that.
Can we have O.J. do the halftime show in some
Oh,
capacity?
he'd
All right,
kill
all
it.
right.
He would kill it.
So yeah, no, they're gonna win this. They're going to the Super Bowl. I'm not saying they're winning the Super Bowl. I can't make that kind of commitment. But I'm gonna say 0 players in the Pro Bowl because they're gonna win the damn Super Bowl. They're going to the Super Bowl. They're winning
You want to say it so
I
bad.
want to say it. They're going to the AFC Championship. They're winning the AFC Championship against Patrick Mahomes or Andrew Luck. Who cares? We're going for it this year. I say Brady signed his life away this year by signing that 2-year extension. He's done. That's a death wish. He should have walked away while he had the chance, but now it's Josh Allen's turn.
Will Mad
We're
Men
going
be at the
for it,
Super
baby.
Bowl?
Oh, believe me, I'll sell my car, my liver, my pancreas. I don't care. If we go to the Super Bowl, Mad Men will be on Radio Row at the Super Bowl. I guarantee it. That is a Joe Namath guarantee right now that if the Bills are at the Super Bowl in 2020, that Mad Men Sports will be on Radio Row. Ink it, put it in the book.
I'll sell my damn cat.
Whoa,
I'll buy it.
chill.
We'll keep it in the family.
Yeah.
Zach, have you been getting enough sleep lately? Have you been getting your 8 hours?
Oh, I've been getting 12. All I've been doing is dreaming about the Bills in the Super Bowl. Give me that and give me more.
You are itching your nose a lot.
Google
You all right, man?
is too much sleep a bad thing.
Not a bad thing. Give me the playoffs. Give me the Super Bowl. Let's have at it. We're going to have a statue of this whole 53-man roster in downtown Buffalo surrounding City Hall. Let's get it.
Jeez. Well, let's only remember, guys, it's still only training camp. So, Mad Men Sports has been at training camp a lot lately.
A lot of time in the sun, I'm not going to lie.
We've been making the drive to Rochester, and we've been having a lot of fun doing it. We've been meeting a lot of wonderful people. Like as Zach had said earlier, we had interviewed NY Up's Matt Perino, which is a friend of Zach's. So
Old friend of mine, great guy. Look, I'm not here to tell you guys to go away from our content, but check out his content. He's got great stuff.
just after you've listened to ours, of course.
Of course. Finish this podcast first.
But, I mean, we have to be happy with the performances by the wide receivers, in my opinion. That's kind of the thing that stuck out to me. David, buddy, what do you think of those wide receivers, man?
As far as receivers go, you guys are right. Brown looks good. Beasley looks good.
Humble pie. Eat it up.
Can I get a I apologize?
Second week. Young talent at receivers. There might be 2 to 3 players on the practice squad for receiver. It's going to be hard to let those guys go. Easley is playing hard. Not sure what's going on with Foster. Really not sure what's going on here. He needs to step it up. I want to see what he looks like in preseason games.
Listen, he's a guy that needs to evolve his game, just like McDermott kind of challenged him. I mentioned that with me and Matt on the interview. Check that out, please.
First name basis.
Yes, him and I are on a first name basis. But check it out. Like we said, he kind of needs to work in his game a little bit better of the shorter routes, the comeback routes. He's got to work on his route running and period. He can outrun most of the guys in the NFL, and Josh Allen can heave it to him. But we don't need that all the time. The short intermediate routes might be what makes him a better wide receiver. So if he can work on that, work on his hands, it might be a difference maker long term for him.
Yeah, and it's tough to kind of replicate his kind of play in practice. I mean, he's an electrifying player, to say the least. I mean, it's hard to see those streaks for touchdowns in practice. So I think he'll be fine. Of course, like Zach says, he does need to refine his game, but he'll be fine come game time.
I mean, it could be a really good thing. It could just show that Zay, Brown, and Beasley are just that much better, which is fine.
And I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll take that all day. Which is kind of what you want because you paid the 2 top free agent wide receivers there. You drafted Zay Jones the second round. You want those guys to be better than Robert Foster. Like I said, mentioned like 3 weeks ago. But, I mean, also you don't want to hold back Foster. You want him to see him at your best. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's super important. I mean, also what I do like as well, the running backs. Frank Gore looks like he's 23 years old. I don't know how that's possible. He's 36 years old, the oldest running back in the league, and we thought we had an old running back in LaShawn McCoy. What is going on in the water?
That's my fault, guys. Sorry.
I'll tell you what I want before we start that. I don't want Frank Gore or McCoy touching a preseason snap.
No, I don't think anybody does. We want to hold them from when the games count. I want to give as many carries to Devin Singletary as possible.
See if
He's
Yeldon's
used to
got
it.
anything, Singletary, see if any young running backs are worth a look at practice squad. Just run them to the ground. Keep Gore and McCoy healthy as can be.
And I think
they might have nothing at that age, but still, let's see.
And I think that's going to be the case. I mean, you certainly do not want Frank Gore taking unnecessary snaps. LaShawn McCoy didn't play too much in the preseason last year, so I don't see that happening much. I'm excited to see what Devin Singletary brings to the table. I mean, he's shown flashes of elusiveness, shiftiness, and that speed. I mean, he had a really subpar 40 time in the combine. I think it was a 6.63. It does not look like it when he's on the field. He's speedy.
You know, on NFL.com, I was watching it the other day on my Fire Stick, and they compared Devin Singletary to Darren Sproles. That's a good comparison.
I want him
I'll
to
take that all day.
succeed.
Yeah.
Darren Sproles, though.
With the running backs, you're going to get a way different look than what you kind of got last year out of the whole crew. You're getting a brand new offensive line. That's going to be a huge difference maker for anyone that's going to be running the ball. You're going to have a little bit more experience at the quarterback position. You're not going to have 4 different starting quarterbacks. It's going to be a whole different running game. The offense is going to be brand new this season. I'm just going to say that upright. It's Brian Dable's second year as an offensive coordinator in the league since returning from college. This is going to be a big year for the Bills. Listen, I might have gotten a little carried away with the Super Bowl prediction, but I really think that their floor, which obviously their floor could be 0 wins, but I think their floor might be 7 wins. This is a way different team than you're looking at from last year. Better, more talented, bigger, stronger. I mean, look at Ty Nsekhe and Andrew Waddle. Those guys are monsters. Like, honestly, they're taller, and yes, we have wide receivers that are Smurfs, but we have different. It's a whole new ball game,
Smurfs.
brand new team this year.
As long as we have our Papa Smurf, I'm trusting that process.
Absolutely, I'll follow Sean anywhere, honestly. And he's honestly proved himself compared to what the whole situation was last year. We were really uncertain with what was going on with the quarterback position. It was a cluster F, if you don't mind. I mean, we're explicit. It was a clusterfuck, guys. I'm not gonna lie. We had 4 different quarterbacks. Preseason training camp was just a mess with those quarterbacks. There wasn't any situation where you want a rookie quarterback to thrive. It's way different now. I trust this team a little bit better. I trust the quarterback room with Ken Dorsey there, Brian Dable in the room. I think we have a better offense overall from wide receivers, running backs, even the tight ends. Whether or not they're more experienced this year, I think they're way more athletic this year than last year. So I'm looking forward to the future with the Buffalo Bills.
1,000%. I want to agree with your last point there. Anytime where you have Kelvin Benjamin as your number 1, there's no athleticism on your team. You're setting yourself up for failure.
Listen,
there.
I get we're trying to prove a point every now and then, but that's been like 4 straight podcasts we've mentioned Kelvin Benjamin. It's a little too much. We're gonna try to
That's
filter
how
that
angry
out.
we were.
Yeah, we're gonna try to filter that out. I'm not gonna lie.
I'll bleep out his name.
That they who should not be named, Kelvin Biscuit Benjamin.
Oh, big boy. Well, yeah. Oh, David, what's up, buddy?
I have 2 quick topics I'm kind of throwing at you guys, if you guys don't mind.
Oh, let's hear him.
I just want to know, are you guys going to watch Hard Knocks featuring Nathan Peterman this year? Starts Tuesday.
I'll be honest. No, I'll see the highlights on Twitter, but no.
John Gruden, Nathan Peterman, Antonio Brown, Richie Incognito. Yes, sign me up for that primetime television.
Richie Incognito's going to kill someone.
Listen, all right.
We hope not, but also he's a wild card. You never know.
I will watch the reruns if I find out Richie Incognito kills somebody.
Another one, a serious topic that I brought this up 2 weeks ago, and it looks like it's going to start ringing true soon.
Ringing true.
Texans today released Foreman, the running back. They are in the market for a running back. I'm not saying give them one of our running backs, but I am saying that Clowney's still on the table. Do you guys pull the plug and make a move? It's finally might happen. Some team is going to trade for a running back trade a running back to them. Do you think the Bills are involved?
No. Couldn't make that more obvious.
Why do you say no?
Because
I think it's obvious that they do.
No. To be fair, I'm just giving you this straight up. The Texans don't have a GM to make a trade. They're a terrible organization. Bill O'Brien's a piece of garbage. Not a fan. Screw him, right?
Why is he a piece of garbage?
I don't like him. I don't like the way he handled former Longhorn Deonta Foreman's whole maturation process. He had a tough time last year. Had a hard time coming back from injury. He had an internal fight with Brian Gaines. Back with the Bills now. So, I mean, I'm going to take the side of whoever lands with the Bills in that situation. I don't think that you're going to want a defensive end that is a run blocker stopper when you already have a lot of money tied up at the defensive end position. You already have Trent Murphy. You need to figure out what's going on with Shaq Lawson, which, if Trent Murphy steps up this year without injury, you might not need someone like Shaq Lawson for the long term, which would be from the same draft class, what Jadeveon Clowney is. So you might want to evolve that a little bit, which actually, let me run that back. He's not in the same draft class. I apologize.
And that's all right.
I personally like Shaq Lawson. I want him to
Absolutely. I like him
15
too.
sacks.
He had a great season last year. I'm not even going to back down from that.
Yeah, I just don't think that you need to. I think the Bills are happy with their defensive line. They've made acquisitions, trades. They've made the necessary moves to kind of solidify what they need at the defensive line. And I think they also like what they have at running back. They have mixes of a lot of running styles, and they're just not going to give that away.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
I was curious.
Hey,
And you're allowed to be curious.
I do want them to do so.
Hey, Dave, thanks for bringing up those topics. Cheers to a day well done, buddy. Black button style. I'm not going to lie. I'm sitting here drinking my 4-grain bourbon, almost out. Got to re-up with a Black Button over in Rochester. I'm excited. Check out the Buffalo Tasting Room at 149 Swan Street. They're a great company. Check them out. They're open from Thursday to Sunday. I mean, honestly, great venue for a nice, relaxing drink and spirit.
This apple pie moonshine is just on the rocks. You can't beat it.
Yeah, a little sweet for me, but I love it straight up. I'm not going to lie. It's probably best that way.
Speaking of that, Jake, you want some more?
Yeah, pour me up, buddy.
Yeah, I got you.
Thank you. Well, that was our podcast. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Please like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram. We're on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe. Find us at madmensports.com. If you have any questions, as Dave always says, email us at madmensports@gmail.com. Unfortunately, he does not have access to the email, so he won't see them.
But I ask you guys twice a day if there's any comments.
And if there is any comments, you please let us know. You guys have.
And I will be in Boston. I'll give you guys any updates that I have.
He won't have any updates.
I won't have any updates, but
He doesn't have anything to.
Enjoy your
translate them.
vacation.
I'm going to check out the Sam Adams Brewery. That'll be fun.
Heck
Enjoy
yeah, buddy.
Enjoy your vacation, because when you come back, it's go time, baby. Preseason games start this week. Guys, this is our last time talking to you listeners without a game happening.
Ooh. Are we going to podcast this?
We have a podcast coming out Thursday night, so it'll be ready for your Friday morning. That is a...
Mad Men promise.
Yep.
The Colts. Chad Kelly's a close friend of mine.
All right. Have a great night, guys.
Bye.
Enjoy.